clients, when I started working with Sheila, when I tell you that I didn't know how to cook, I mean, I didn't know how to cook at all. I had to call my mother to find out how to make hard-boiled eggs. I mean, I didn't cook at all, and so I would come home after working with Sheila and practically be in tears, because when she's telling you about Monsanto and all of the conflicting information, and one day you can have eggs and the next day you can't have eggs, and what's the right answer and what are we supposed to do? So Sheila was very helpful and extremely supportive. But I think that one of the most valuable things that you can take away from tonight is, well, there are a couple of things, but one is the bio-individuality. One man's treasure is another man's junk, those types of things. But also, it really does have to work with you and your family. It's the same thing as exercise. It has to work for you. It has to be something that you like to do, and that you will do, and that you will see through to fruition. That makes a big difference. So I had indicated that I am an educator, so I will be giving you a quiz, as I had indicated. So everyone should have two sheets of paper. We have, well, actually three. So you have the packet from Sheila, and then there is a nutrition quiz, and then also the family goals. So everyone is familiar with their IQ, and you're familiar with EQ also, so the intelligence quotient and how your emotional intelligence as well. So we're going to be talking about the health quotient, and what your family, in particular, your family health quotient is. That's what we're going to do tonight. It is impacted by more than just what you eat. I think that's a recurrent theme. There are many ways that chemicals and artificial things get into your body, not just from what you're ingesting. So there are all of the things that we're drinking. There are all of the things that we're breathing. Sheila talks a great deal about cleaning products and their impact on the entire family. One of the things that we no longer use are dryer sheets. And I love that smell, that wonderful smell, and that little teddy bear that says that this is a wonderful thing for you and for your family. It's anything that you can smell like that, those are chemicals. And, certainly the wool dryer balls and a couple of drops of essential oil work absolutely the same way and are much safer and much better for you. So the amount of time that you spend out in nature, and we hope that, living down here at the shore, that we spend some time out getting some vitamin D, as opposed to all the electronics and powering down and our sleep habits. So all of these things will have an impact on our family health quotient. The standard American diet, SAD, yes, the standard American diet is sad. It's very sad. And when you look at this graphic and when you see the percentage, it's just not even a pleasant visual. All of those things compressed, but 51% processed food. This is the standard American diet. So we want to be above the standard. We want to be above normal. We don't want to be eating like this. And you can see how few fruits and vegetables, as far as this, are involved in the standard American diet. So we want to absolutely increase and change those numbers. So Peter Menzel, he did a great, took on a great project. He was looking at what they eat all over the world. And he asked, and I will invite you to do this as well, to think about what your family has eaten in this past week. And if you can picture everything that your family has eaten in this past week. So he went to many different countries and had families do that, write up lists of what they had eaten, and then they went out and purchased those things and took pictures of them. So these are some of the pictures from a wide variety of countries, and I'll give you a close-up. I don't know why these people are smiling. How could they possibly be smiling? Look what they have ingested, and look what they've been eating in that week. So they went to McDonald's, they went to Burger King, there are 2 pizzas, you can see the several bags of potato chips. There is an awful lot of soda. I'm hoping that it's the adults there that had the case of Budweiser, I'm assuming. I'm just making an assumption. And then all of the fruit drinks. So this is what a typical American diet for the week. This is what the people had ingested. So at this point, I would like for you to think about what your family has ingested this week. And I'm going to give you a few minutes to take the quiz. What is your family nutrition quotient? So we should have our quiz numbers. And hopefully when you have your picture in your mind of what your family ate this week, it didn't look like this. As Sheila had indicated, what we're ingesting and what we are exposing our bodies to doesn't just impact how much we weigh. It does have an impact, a long-term impact on our health, on our well-being, on our concentration, on our mood, and it can have a wide variety, an impact on all of these things. One of the things that I did learn, and it does make an awful lot of sense, but if you keep good food in your refrigerator, if you cook good food, you will eat good food. I really have come to a point where I can't have potato chips in the house and say they're for my husband, because my husband never sees them. If there are potato chips in the house, they're not getting past me. And I can't keep those types of things in the house. And I'm very reluctant to, when I'm in the middle of a craving or I want to start a binge, to get in the car and go drive somewhere. I'm not going to do that. That's not something I'm going to do. So I just don't keep those types of foods in my house. As I had started with, I didn't cook at all when I first met Sheila. So if I can make these changes, you certainly can. Anyone can. Yeah, we were fast food nation, definitely. Keep good food in your fridge, you'll eat good food. It's not just what you're eating. It's also, we talk an awful lot about stress, handling your stress, handling negative emotions, negative feelings. These all have an impact on your toxicity, the toxicity load that your body is able to bear. And we're looking to be less toxic. One of the things comes across often, very, very frequently, is sleep, and that we're not getting adequate quality sleep. So most of our students, a lot of our students do talk about being tired. Our teachers talk about being tired. We're yawning. So there are things that we need to do, and it's called sleep hygiene. So what is your sleep hygiene? And if you can look at that, maybe that's a family goal. So checking your email and your Facebook, having that blue light from the screen, from your phone, right in front of your face, right before you go to bed, you're not going to be able to, it is going to have an impact on the quality of your sleep. I have a 25-year-old and a 22-year-old, and they are the generation, and I just find it absolutely fascinating because my husband and I, we don't sleep with our phones in the bedroom. There's no television in our bedroom. There's no television in our guest bedroom, so the guest bedroom never gets used because they want to sleep downstairs on the couch in front of the television, which is, they're adults, so they want to make that choice, but I'm not making it available to them. There are no televisions. But they're the generation that they sleep with their phone, which is unbelievably horrific. It's really very bad for you. And I can't believe that either one of them get any sleep at all. They're answering texts and this in the middle of the night. Even if you put it on airplane mode, just keep it out of the bedroom. It does not belong there. But sleep. So sleep hygiene. How can you get more sleep? You really need to power down and to take a really strong look at what your sleep hygiene involves. I have been known to fall asleep on the couch, still in my work clothes, and then by the time I stumble up to bed and then change and then, go to, you're interrupting. There's so many times when you're interrupting. What works much better for me is if at least half an hour before I really need to be in bed, if I go upstairs and I'm free from electronics and I have some quiet music and those types of things, it makes for a much better night's sleep for me. And that's what works for me. Other things, we talk about bio-individuality. Something different may work for you, but I do caution you and recommend that you take a significant, serious look at your sleep hygiene and the sleep hygiene of your children. Because good health, you are the example. As Sheila had indicated, your children are watching you and are learning from you. And we've seen so many kids who really have just loved cooking when given the chance. They've absolutely loved working in the kitchen and have come home with different recipes. And so really give it a chance. So what kind of things could be as part of your goal? Drinking more water, having warm lemon water in the morning as opposed to going right to the coffee. Taking a few minutes, doing some breathing exercises, doing some stretching before you go out of bed. All kinds of things will contribute to your better health. So we're going to talk about your family goal. So based on the quiz, based on your score from the quiz, are you able to identify something that you would like to change in your family, that you would like to improve, that you'd really like to work on? And, this is kind of the best time to do it because you can go home and tell your kids, well, those people last night at that new workshop said that we have to have a family goal. So you can blame it on us because we won't be there. Saying those ladies said we have to have a family goal. And I'm sure that your commitment is from 1 to 10. I'm sure that your commitment is 11. I can see that. I can just feel it in this room. So setting a plan, setting a goal, making a plan, and then implementing the plan, revisiting it, making sure that you keep each other honest. These would be great ways for you to really have an impact and change something about your family. So what could your family goal be? It could be more vegetables, it could be better sleep hygiene, it could be more water, more exercise, going outside more now that we can go outside. You can have a wide variety of goals. So there is a sheet, the other sheet that I had given you, the best way to set important family goals. Okay, so this we should really be working on. What type of a goal would you like to set for your family? Any volunteers? Anyone have a goal that they want to work on? Anything come to mind? Yes,
Since it's a family goal, I would like my husband to cook.
What kind of plan is that, Mrs. Dyer?
It would be one that I delegate.
And how successful do you feel? How realistic is that?
Well, it hasn't worked for 40 years.
Oh, okay. So could we maybe choose something else?
All right.
Could we maybe choose something else? Anyone have any ideas?
I want to be able to hide some of this good food into my son because he won't try new things. And maybe some of these ideas of hiding them into the food would work better to get his taste acquired for these things.
There are, our taste buds have been hijacked. So it does take a while, depending upon what we've been eating and what we've been used to. I remember one time I was on a long car trip, and by the time I got out of I was driving, by the time I got out of the car, the pile of empty wrapper, Starburst, was like up to, up to here. It was, so, your taste buds, if you've been doing that, drinking the Kool-Aid, drinking Hawaiian Punch, doing those types of things, or even the fruit juice. It's, the crash, the sugar crash that comes from that. But there are absolutely ways where you can put, we have so much the ground vegetables in our chili. You can hardly, and in meatloaf, in all kinds of things. You can really, and as Sheila had said, some of these nuts and seeds, that are very healthy. You absolutely can do a nice job in smoothies. Again, so smoothies shouldn't be starting out with apple juice and then be every single kind of fruit. That would put me into a toxic overload that does send me into secretaries' desks looking for candy. That's not exactly what I'm trying to project, but that absolutely does happen. If I have something way too sugary in the morning, that'll set me off for the whole day. Anyone else? Other than Mrs. Dyer looking to have her husband do the cooking. Anyone have a family goal? More vegetables. So that's a great goal. And one of the things we can do is when we're talking about when you have them available. So one of my goals was to have more lemon water, or to have more water, and the way I do it is to have lemons. So we went out, we bought 3 lemons, and right there washed them. We got 3 organic lemons. We washed them and then cut them up, and so they're right there and ready. So it's not when I want one, I have to then go and then I have to wash it. So I find if we have the orange, the carrots cut and peeled, if we have the celery cut and peeled, I'm much more likely to go and grab that and have some hummus with that. And so what we do, on Sunday nights, get out the baggies and put the carrots and the celery in the baggies and have them ready for 3 or 4 days. So it's the convenience. There are a lot of shortcuts and things that you can do to make this healthy lifestyle much more convenient. If you can have eggs, you can hard boil a dozen eggs and have them ready. And so these are the things you can do on a Saturday or on a Sunday, and have everything all ready there, so that the easier it is, the more likely we are to follow through on it. And it does take some preparation and to do some work, but it absolutely can be done. Really, not one meal a day did I cook. Yes, friend.
On a serious note, I did find when I was trying to increase vegetables, fresh vegetables, that I was also trying not to shop many times a week. And so I was buying vegetables and then throwing them away because I wouldn't cook them soon enough, and then they would spoil. So prepping and cooking things on a Sunday, and cooking a spaghetti squash, a lot of eggplant, things that you can then eat during the week. If you cook it, it's not going to go bad as quickly.
Right.
So that part is really helpful.
Right. Yeah, and I make a big thing of cauliflower rice, and you can buy the cauliflower already riced. I mean, they do sell that at Whole Foods in the produce and in the freezer, and add different types of vegetables and some either bone broth or some chicken broth, and that makes a nice. I don't eat rice anymore. I use the cauliflower rice. The other thing, if you're having smoothies in the morning, I set them up in 5 mason jars. And I put everything except the liquid ingredient. So I put the spinach, I put whatever protein powder, cinnamon, and the berries that I'm using, and I put them all in the freezer. So the next morning, I just have to pull one out and add the liquid. So there are shortcuts that you can do. You can definitely do. But if your goal is to add more vegetables, so what you need to do is kind of assess where you are. So what does more vegetables mean? Does it mean we're going from 1 a day to 3 a day? Are we at a point where we're only having 1 vegetable a day and we want to go up to 3? Or are we at 4 and we want to go up to 6? So we really have to quantify what the goal is. To say I want to drink more water, I mean, what does that mean? So if I have 1 more sip than I had yesterday, that's more water. So how do you want to quantify it? So that was helpful for goals as well. This time next year, you'll be wondering or kicking yourself because you didn't start today. So you need to start today. Okay. Any questions? No. As Sheila had indicated, we will be returning your children to you. So Danny has the kids in the cafeteria. We do have a great deal of food down there. I know there are a couple of vendors, so we would love to have you join us down in the cafeteria.